So I'm going to go into detail about how I do a little bit of my coloring process. I'm gonna start by paying attention to the values. I did a sketch first, trying to get a feel. As you'll notice, I'll always have reference. That is very important. So don't be afraid or feel like you're cheating. I use my eyedropper tool and I grab the colors. So I used a little bit of a lighter blue because when you're doing the sky, it's mostly light on the bottom and dark on top. So I will do circles for clouds. This is how I start, and I'll erase underneath it, and then I'll continue to draw more circles and I'll erase underneath it. See? And this is like a layering process, kind of like semicircles, if that makes any sense. So you just continue this process. Eventually you don't have to always erase underneath if you want sharper lines on top, as you can see. So it's just to show what I kind of do so that this next process makes a little more sense. So if you pay attention to my strokes, you'll see I'll keep doing the circles. When you get used to it, you don't have to really erase as much, but because I want my clouds to be a little sharper in the background a bit, I stick with the regular method. So just taking a little bit of the eyedropper and grabbing the edge of the clouds that are towards the blue and mixing. So it's like a constant back and forth of mixing between lighter blue and bluer, a little white. So when you're doing clouds also, you don't want to just stick to just one cloud. You want to like do little sprinkles in the background. Don't make them too white. I mean, you do what you want depending on what you're going for, but some of my clouds in the background have like a sprinkle of light white just to kind of make it feel a little more atmospheric. So let's see, what else are we going to work with? I use a lasso tool a lot, and I will highlight the far reaches of my ocean. So after locking my layer, I'll start off with a very dark blue, which kind of, I don't know how to explain it. It just gives it a really cool effect, like far distance. Of course, it doesn't have to be dark blue. You could probably go with like a darker green if that's what you're feeling for. But no, I start lightening everything up. I go from dark to light. And because the shore is closer to this part, I use like a green to lighten everything up. So it's like if you like use lighter, it gives off the effect of like your shore is touching the ocean. I hope everybody can see it. Hold on, it's like a highlight like that. Yeah, just a little bit of blue to try to soften it up again because that feels a little harsh. The shore isn't that big. We're looking down from the top of the the sand. I'm so glad I have a picture next to me because sometimes I forget. Sometimes I do. Above me, I have also another picture, so it kind of gives me a good idea of what to keep doing instead of like going off on my own and messing stuff up here and there. So a little bit of waves. To do waves, I start with a darker green or blue. So with a little bit of the dark lines, I just create kind of like ripples. They go back and forth. I am using a soft brush if that helps, but ripples, a little bit more ripples, making them smaller as they go further out. I make them smaller. Then I use the linear dodge tool with a lighter green color, and I'm creating the waves. And as you can tell, I make sure that the highlights go above the shadow that I worked on because it gives off the effect of there's a shadow underneath the foam of the water. And I'll just go into like little swiggle lines. Of course, we have a rock over here, so make sure that the highlights hit the edges of the rock. It just makes a good effect because if you see how the water interacts with rock, the rock and the water has it's like a highlight if you paid attention. Like, at least that's what I see. I see a highlight. Okay. But yeah, definitely. When you're doing an ocean, the further out it goes is like the darker it gets. As you can see, that darkness is really, really contrasting well with the shore greenish kind of color. And you could try different ones. Like I know at one time I tried more like not just green, but I tried like a pink. And that sounds crazy, but it really did come out cool instead of green. So it kind of gave it like an ethereal look. yeah, that's basically it. Always have a reference. That's what I mean by reference. You don't have to sit there and for hours try to figure it out. No, just grab the color from the reference and that's it. Just grab the color.